ago when it was first revealed that the government was using Stingrays or Stingers or dirt boxes.
Which is the name for those fake cell towers that broadcast and intercept phone calls and things.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a man-in-the-middle attack. And we've talked about man-in-the-middle attacks before here on Know How. We know what it means. It means you get something, a piece of software, a piece of hardware, or physically a person who intercepts your traffic and then passes it on. And so that it looks like your traffic's making it through. It looks like you're connected, but in reality, there's something in the middle, a man in the middle who can hear and copy everything you do.
Well, that's the big point of this story, isn't it? That beforehand, law enforcement agencies claimed that they could only receive phone numbers and things like that, but they can actually listen, which was suspected, but they never admitted.
This is like one of the biggest surprise, not really a surprise things. And they were saying, well, we get around the whole idea of illegal search and seizure because we're not actually listening to your call or collecting the data. We're collecting metadata. You've heard that a lot. You know, we get your metadata, which is, well, where are you? What time did you call? Who did you call to? That's all we're collecting. Totally not, no.
And it's a wide net, too. It's not like they're focusing on one person. It's like everyone who comes by that tower.
Now, people who have watched my Enterprise show, they know that I actually do err towards the side of giving law enforcement and the government the tools they need to do proper maintenance. I'm a system administrator, right? So I'm like, well, they should be able to use the same tools that I use. But for them to outright lie and say, no, we can't actually listen to your calls. We can't actually see your data. That was bunk. And some papers were released just this week that shows, no, I mean, that wasn't even, they weren't even pretending part of it was true. It was completely false. Not only can they collect calls and data, text, basically anything that you send through the system, but as you mentioned, one of the biggest concerns for people is you can't target this at a person. If you have a warrant for a person and you're trying to listen into his or her cell phone, and you know, that's fine. I mean, you have court order, great. You're getting everyone in the vicinity, and there's no way to stop that. That's the way that cell technology works, and that's just, it rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Well, and then the other part of the cell technology is that it can actually jam 4G and 3G channels, forcing a phone down to 2G, which is, I guess, open, so it makes it easier to track that phone.
Well, they have to, because 3G, 4G, they're encrypted, right? Which, if they're encrypted, it doesn't do them any good. 2G was not. They didn't think about encryption back when we had those old 2G networks. So they figured out, well, all we have to do is blot out the 3G and the 4G signals. Your phone will drop to 2G, and now it's as if you're sending information over the internet in clear text. Which we've all seen on the show how easy it is to intercept that. So yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Now there are a couple of things that you can do. We will be showing a few on Know How as soon as I get it cleared with legal. Because
I knew wasn't there a way of detecting if you were connecting to some sort of Stingray?
And it's a little piece of software that was written by some of the people that we interviewed at Black Hat. Actually, the same people who found the bad USB. Do you remember them, Karsten Knoll? Yeah.
Oh, God.
So they wrote a little piece of software called Snoop Snitch. Now, you can go ahead and get it from the Google store. Actually, you may not be able to do that anymore. You can download it and sideload it. So we're going to have to show you sideloading. There's a couple of problems, though. It only works with a particular chipset, and your phone has to be rooted, because they need root access before...
That makes sense.
Anything. That will tell you if you've been connected to an ISMI catcher, a dirt box, a Stingray. If you don't have that, if you can't do that, if your phone's not compatible with that, what you can do is just watch. If you are in an area that normally has really, really good coverage, and suddenly
you start losing data,
you're losing data, and your calls are dropping, and like it's acting so wonky. Why is that?
Weird.
Or
you hear a third person while you're calling someone. Like, did you just cough? I thought I heard you cough on there.
I will say I did a quick war drive around San Francisco, and in just the 15 square blocks around my neighborhood, there's 4 dirt boxes.
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking, wait, what?
Wow.
That's not good.
Well, the thing that's scary, too, is that they don't need a warrant for any of this.
Which, again,
there's not a lot of oversight with this sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like we have a system. You're supposed to follow the system. If you suspect me of doing something, you need to follow law. Otherwise, what are we doing? All right.
No, they're Batman. They're like Batman of search and seizure of cell phone data.
Because I'm Batman.
We're not the law enforcement you wanted. It's the one you deserve.
No.
Oh.
No. All right, but let's get off of that because it's really easy to go down the rabbit hole. You know, again, I want to balance what law enforcement needs and the privacy that we demand, but
Right.
that's a discussion for a later day. Let's talk about something a little else, and that is Nmap.